Hi everyone, in today's video I'm gonna figure out the psychology of Cora, one of the main villains of Once Upon a Time, a miller's daughter who dreamed all her life of wealth and power, and like all of the characters, she has a complicated story and we're gonna look into that story, define Cora's behavior and find out the causes of that behavior. So, power, an ability to have a certain influence over something or someone. In other words, power is control.
Power is power.
But why do people need control? The researchers tell us that obtaining power is a way to feel safe and secure. It is seen that many of the most powerful people of the world have a history of being neglected or powerless when they were young. Due to such experiences, they strive to work hard so that those experiences would never happen again. The same thing we can see with Cora. From her very childhood till the early adulthood, she was no one but a miller's daughter. Her father was a drunkard who didn't seem to care much about her. She lived in dirt and poverty. She had to do a lot of physical work. She toted carts with flour all day long. In addition, Cora was humiliated by members of royalty. She was manipulated and hurt by others. She believed that the world is run on a system of power. Powerful individuals can bully and exploit the weaker ones. Of course, Cora wanted to get power in order to protect herself and maybe seek revenge on those who abused her. Okay, now it's perfectly clear where Cora's immense desire for power comes from. But there are still another questions about Cora's life. So, why did she abandon Zelena? And did she ever love her firstborn? When giving birth to Zelena, Cora still had her heart in its place. And I think she felt some kind of motherly love to her child. Maybe she didn't want to leave the infant girl, but the need of power and wealth won all the same. Keeping the child would have meant having even more trouble and saying goodbye forever to the dream of rich life. Cora would have struggled to feed and shelter both herself and Zelena, and it would have been even harder since those who had children out of wedlock weren't treated very well. I suppose so. If Cora had married Leopold, she would have passed Zelena as his child and everything would have been alright with that. So we can accuse Princess Eva, Snow White's mother, in Zelena's abandonment. When Cora had her heart, she was able to love Zelena and care about her, though there were few opportunities for that. But with her heart ripped out, Cora couldn't really love anyone anymore because even with a heart, she was too selfish. And the absence of a heart in Cora's chest is the explanation why she could manipulate Zelena so easily when she got the girl to their estate in order to use her to heal Regina. I believe that if Cora had had her heart at that time, she would have cast sort of a spell so that everyone would think Zelena had always been Cora's and Henry's daughter. In that case, Cora would still have had chances to get one of her girls married to the king. Actually, twice more chances. And Cora would have been as powerful and rich as she always wanted. So, Cora's heart is an important object in the show, and how did she get rid of it in the first place? Because of Rumpel, on his deathbed, which was actually her deathbed, Cora said,
"You're the only man I ever truly loved."
Okay, here comes a bunch of certain questions, which of course can be answered like all the questions concerning Once Upon a Time, thanks Adam and Edward. So the first one, did Cora and Rumplestiltskin really love each other? Well, maybe. Yeah, that's the answer. The second question, if they really loved each other, how come their kiss didn't break Rumpel's curse of being the Dark One? I found many fascinating opinions on that on the internet, and some people suppose that the curse wasn't broken because nor Cora neither Rumpelstiltskin wanted it to be broken. They liked that darkness, and Rumpel's power and magic were the things Cora admired most. But in Belle's case, for example, the curse could be broken because Belle wanted that. Actually, some of the fans think that Cora's and Rumpelstiltskin's love was the one true love, because they accepted each other fully and they loved each other as they were. Interesting, but you have to consider that more deeply. It comes clear that no, it doesn't work that way, and Cora couldn't be a better fit for Rumpel than Belle. And the third, a very good question, a perplexing one, is why did Cora refuse to be with Rumpelstiltskin and chose a crown prince over him if Rumpelstiltskin was the most powerful man in her world and she desired power so much in order to be safe and get some revenge? Isn't that what we thought was Cora's main motivation? Yes, it was, but it wasn't all, because it goes directly to Cora's psychology, to something very deep inside her. Cora was a narcissistic person, what we call selfish, self-obsessed, and such people really care how others see them, so they cannot just love themselves sitting in silence in their bedrooms. They need to be recognized and honored. But living with Rumpelstiltskin, it wouldn't have meant often going out to the world, not to mention being honored. That psychological pattern of narcissism turned out to be much stronger than love, and Cora figured out for herself that love's weakness, it can stop her from pursuing her main goals, and she ripped it out. A very simple but not wise decision, definitely. And she realized that in the very end, even after the very end. Of course, running from herself for an entire life wasn't worth it. I've told you that Cora was a narcissistic, selfish person, and you can ask me how I know that. Okay, let's take a look at Cora's and Regina's mother-daughter relationships. The internet offers lots of articles describing different types of toxic mothers, and in one of those articles I found what seems the most similar to Cora, and it's exactly a narcissistic mother, a self-involved mother. It means that she sees her daughter as an extension of herself and nothing more. She carefully controls her involvement as it suits her own self-reflection. A power player, she is incapable of empathy. Instead, very concerned with appearances and the opinions of others. Her emotional connection to her daughter is superficial, although she would fiercely deny that because her focus is on herself. The tactics she uses to manipulate and control her daughter permit her to self-aggrandize and feel good about herself. I think this description suits Cora perfectly well. Probably she wasn't really conscious about her selfishness and thought everything she was doing was for her daughter's well-being. No, it's not true. All she did was to serve her own purposes. Cora didn't think of Regina as an independent person, and she was reflecting her own dreams and goals on her daughter. She was making her child her own self-extension, even if unconsciously. Cora had no empathy for Regina. She didn't understand her. She didn't think Regina's own feelings and thoughts were important. Cora was continuing to play that game of power, but now through Regina, and she didn't want to stop till the very end of her life. If it had been everything alright with Cora, many troubles in one spontaneous world wouldn't have existed at all. But we can thank her for being a great villain, one of the greatest, together with Peter Pan. And we can also enjoy a touching ending of hers. She seemed to finally realize something of her life and make peace with both of her daughters. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you have some suggestions for the next videos. I wish you all the best and goodbye. See you soon.